What's going on, guys, and welcome back to News to the Sonic Trees, because comics, movies, games, and more. Here to bring you some really exciting news about Marvel Spider-Man 2, and it's that we're getting an official prequel comic to Marvel Spider-Man 2. But don't fret, because this prequel comic will not reveal any spoilers about the main story. So if you're here and you clicked on this video wondering if we're going to be getting any spoilers for the second story of the official franchise, don't worry. This prequel comic is only going to involve a new villain, not an actually new villain, but a new villain in terms of it being a new official villain for the Marvel Spider-Man franchise. So we're going to go ahead and get into the details, but before we get started, be sure to like, subscribe, and click on the bell notifications so y'all don't miss anything. Join my Discord. Invitation link to that is in the description box below. Follow me on my social media such as Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. So when I saw this announcement, it was a little earlier in the day. Just about everyone who does what I do just talked about it, and I kind of figured I got to weigh in on this, and I really got to give my 2 cents because this is really exciting. And there's some exciting details and perhaps even hints to a possible showcase in May. I think with everything that we just got today only lends credence to that rumor that we're going to be getting a showcase on May 25th. And I'm just all over the place right now because I just can't contain my excitement. I am super tired. I've been up since 3 a.m., but that's not important. Let's go ahead and get into this right now. And this is coming from an article over at the Nerd Stash and also coming from Kotaku.com. So first, I'm going to go ahead and address Kotaku.com. And it says here, the Marvel Spider-Man 2 prequel comic pulls the new villain into the gameverse, and we'll see what the gang's been up to since Miles Morales and meet the Hood. So I'm not exactly all too familiar with the Hood character, although I have heard of him, and I'm going to be honest with you. The Hood character is not exactly a huge character in the comics, which is why I'm not really too familiar with him, probably because I really couldn't care about him. But the fact that a character as such is going to be appearing in the game is pretty exciting for the web crawlers. So PSA to all my fellow true believers and web heads around the world, the hotly anticipated Marvel Spider-Man 2 is getting a prequel comic on May 6th, also known as Free Comic Book Day. I hope you guys are there because actually, this only applies to the US people out there who are watching my content and all of the Marvel Spider-Man 2 content that's on YouTube. If you reside in the US, only a select few comic book shops are going to be actually handing out these comics free of charge. So on Wednesday, PlayStation and Insomnia Games each announced a comic book tie-in for the blockbuster video game sequel on their respective Twitter accounts. According to the official PlayStation blog, the Gameverse comic book issue will pit Peter Parker and Miles Morales and Mary Jane Watson against a supernatural new foe, the Hood. Marvel's upcoming Spider-Man 2 prequel comic was written by Christos Gage and illustrated by Ig Guara. Now, before I continue on, I gotta say, that is a very interesting pick for a villain to be featured in a comic book tie-in to the sequel game, and I wonder why the Hood in particular. What's also interesting is that we're getting some new supernatural foes in the mix. Could it be that we can also be seeing Morbius the Vampire? And that's going to be a separate topic for another time. But this is really interesting because I think the Hood could lead perhaps into a DLC or be some sort of a small subplot in the official sequel of Marvel Spider-Man 2. So moving on. Now this is from a tweet of Insomnia Games, and it says here, we're celebrating Free Comic Book Day with a Marvel Spider-Man 2 prequel comic available at participating US retailers on May 6th and later digitally. Also, what's even more exciting, Marvel Spider-Man Remastered PS5 will be available to purchase separately later this month. And you're probably wondering, well, what's the big deal? I already own Marvel Spider-Man Remastered on my PS5. So why is it buying it separately such a big deal? Well, I'll tell you why. You never have to dish out $49.99 on Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition in order to get Spider-Man Remastered. Before, in order for you to get Spider-Man Remastered, you had to actually purchase a copy of Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition. Well, that's not the case. And if you own any of the previous PS4 versions of Marvel Spider-Man, you get to actually get a $10 upgrade to the remastered version of Marvel Spider-Man. That's right. PlayStation is actually doing you a favor if you desperately want to play this game. Otherwise, if you don't own the game altogether whatsoever and you've never played it and you want to play it on the PlayStation, it'll only cost you $49.99 for the remastered version alone. So the Marvel Spider-Man 2 Gameverse comic will focus on how Peter, Miles, and MJ are doing following the events of both Marvel Spider-Man and Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. Fingers crossed that the comic addresses the Tom Hollandification of Peter's face in the PlayStation 5 remaster. Honestly, the more I look at it now, I don't really think this Peter Parker kind of looks like Tom Holland at all. I look at Tom Holland and I look at the Peter Parker from the remastered version. They don't look all too alike. There are some similarities in a way where like Peter Parker appears very kid-like, but that's pretty much about it. I mean, Ben Jordan and Tom Holland are two entirely different people. Yeah, they look kind of similar, but still, I don't think it's a full-on Tom Hollandification of Peter Parker's face. Moving on. This isn't the first time that Marvel Spider-Man Insomniac Games version has had a comic book tie-in. In 2019, Marvel's released the Marvel Spider-Man City at War, Marvel Spider-Man Velocity, and Marvel Spider-Man The Black Cat Strikes, which I'm also a proud owner of those comics, and those were a very fun read. And if you ever had the chance to read those comics, I implore you to do so. City at War fleshed out how Spider-Man and New York Police Department took down Wilson Fisk at the start of the Sony video game. Velocity focused on how Peter acquired his nifty Velocity suit. The Black Cat Strikes centered on the Jerry Springer-esque baby daddy fiasco that was Peter and the Black Cat's shocking in-game entanglement. I only read the last comic because I'm a Risco Brain Felicia Hardy enjoyer who appreciates some Spider-Cat content no matter how messy it gets. And that's not coming from me. I'm only quoting the person that wrote this article over at Kotaku.com. So Marvel Spider-Man 2 is slated to release later this fall on PlayStation 5. And we could be expecting the PlayStation Showcase this month. And now I'm actually even more certain that we're going to be getting it on May 25th, only because Marvel Spider-Man Remastered standalone has been announced for a May 2023 release. We're in May, so which also lends credence to the rumor of the showcase being on May 25th. And what better time is there to announce the official date release of Marvel Spider-Man Remastered standalone for the PS5, the showcase. And that announcement alone should accompany the new trailer of the Marvel Spider-Man 2 video game that comes out in the fall of this year. And the Marvel Spider-Man Remastered is getting the standalone release, and anyone with a PS4 might remember that the Marvel Spider-Man was one of the best titles to launch on that console. Not only was it one of the greatest superhero games ever made, but it was also one of the best Spider-Man stories out there. While Spider-Man Miles Morales felt more like a DLC and a way to showcase the power of the PS5, and I'm quoting the nerdstash.com, it was also a fantastic title to play. I personally had a lot of fun, but I didn't enjoy the story as much as I did the first game, which I think is the superior title, no pun intended. Anyone who owned the deluxe edition could play an upgraded version of the first game. And the developers have announced that the Spider-Man Remastered is finally getting a standalone release this month, and the standalone release of Marvel Spider-Man is set for May 2023. Like I mentioned before, there's no official date yet, but I feel like as we're inching close to the end of May, we're only on May 3rd, so why am I saying that right now? Next thing you know, you snap your fingers and we're right there close to the end of May. PlayStation's going to drop a mega bomb on us, and they're going to say, stay tuned for the showcase. And I think that's when we will officially get our date for the standalone release. And I think if I had to put a date on it, I think the perfect date time frame to release the standalone PS5 Remastered Edition would be around May 30th. That's my bet. Because if the showcase is on the 25th, it could be May 30th. If not, at best, it could be exactly on May 25th, right after the PlayStation Showcase event ends. So that's my bet. So previously, the only way to get the PS5 version of the game was by purchasing the deluxe edition of Spider-Man Miles Morales. And it is nice to finally have the game by itself. And it's been a while because Spider-Man Miles Morales, the Ultimate Edition, the deluxe edition, came out back in 2020. And for about almost 3 years now, in order to play the remastered game, you had to buy the copy of Miles Morales. Even if it has a price tag, and if you don't own the game, you'll have to pay more to enjoy its next generation features. And definitely worth the price for $49. Or if you did own the previous title again on the PS4, it's only $10 to upgrade so you can receive the game and enjoy it at its full remastered glory. But anyways, this is really exciting. Do you think the Hood can make a further appearance in Marvel Spider-Man 2? Are you going to pick up a free copy of the Gameverse of Marvel Spider-Man 2 prequel comic on Free Comic Book Day? You let me know your thoughts. This is really exciting. I cannot wait for more, and I definitely cannot wait until PlayStation reveals the official date of the showcase. We're only inching so much closer to the Marvel Spider-Man 2 release, guys. Be patient, get hyped. It's coming, and I'm here for it. I'm really excited. I cannot wait to play this game. You guys should get hyped too. Let's go. I don't say that shit, but still, I wanted to say it anyways. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notification so you all don't miss anything. And as always, I will see you all in the next comic panel.
Will one of you finally give me what I desire? Yeah.
PlayStation